Well, hello today, and I got a question for you. What do you consider a modest income? I watched a few minutes of a video earlier that this guy was talking about how he was going to be living on a very modest income. That's how he titled his video. And I try to search these kind of videos out because I want to know what people are doing and how they live on just Social Security or a really small income, something like that. Usually it's Social Security. And then this guy goes into his situation. He has a pension, and he has Social Security, and his wife works. His pension's $2,500 a month. I don't know what the rest of it is because at that point I got disgusted and turned it off. But the thing is these people think this is a modest income. I don't understand where they're coming from, because to me a modest income is, like under $2,000 under $2,000 a month. Now, 5 years ago, a modest would have been under $1,500, but the cost of living has went up so much. Actually, $2,000 is probably pretty modest. And so to me, I'm wondering, what do you think about that? What do most people, especially single people, what do you think about that? I really, some of these people, I like some of the things they have to say and ideas that they have, and things like different things related to living on less money, frugal ideas, and in general things to do before you retire. But whenever they start talking about modest income, and they're talking about 3 different income streams, and they've got a YouTube channel, don't forget that, it just seems disingenuous to me. So, I'm going to be living on Social Security only. I don't have a 401k or a pension or a spouse or any of that. It's going to be Social Security, period. I have a paid off house. I don't have a car payment or credit cards or any of that kind of stuff. I do have a debt that I'm paying on, which is my motivation behind selling my house. I'm going to sell my house, pay off that debt, and then buy something that's less expensive if I don't just rent and travel. Because with that debt that I have, there's no way I can stay in this house. Since inflation has went sky high. Now, if inflation hadn't have done that, and if insurance hadn't have tripled, I could stay here on Social Security. And that was my original plan, 5 years ago, whenever I decided I was going to work towards an early retirement. But now, the way everything has went up, I have had to cut back so many more things. And I recently quit paying someone to cut my grass. Number one, they were unreliable. And number two, it just didn't fit in my budget. Because I've made a very detailed budget for my income, and I don't want to be caught short-handed. Most of my life I've lived, paycheck to paycheck, which, is just the way it was. It's nothing I can do about it now. The last about 5 years, I've been saving as much as I could, paid off all the credit cards, paid the vehicle off, paid the house off, all those things, because I knew that this would be it. Social Security would be it. A lot of people say, oh, you're so irresponsible, you should have put money into blah, blah. Get over yourself, because this is the way it is. I don't trust investment companies. I don't trust 401ks. And of course, that's just the way it is for me. So anyway, I want to know what you think about that. What do you think about people putting out those videos saying that they live on, a modest income when they have 3 or 4 income streams, or saying they're living on a shoestring? That's a good one. I had a Facebook group that I created for people living on a small income because I had previously been a member of a group that was about living on a shoestring in retirement. And when anyone talked about their Social Security, how if they had ideas for them to cut back or things to do because they only lived on Social Security, they were attacked in this group. You should have saved more money. You should have put away blah, blah, blah. And, that's not really what we're looking for when we ask those questions. It is past that point. I can't go back in time and change things. And there's no point in trying to make me feel guilty about it because there's nothing I can do about it. So anyway, I created that group. And I feel like it's helped people. And also I don't allow anybody in there. I usually look through their profile page to see what their real deal is, what they're posting, and if they've, if it doesn't go with our group, they don't get in. And I'm not really worried about getting a big group. I mean, I don't make any money off this. This is just something I did to get people together that could talk about their tips on, how to get by. And then one last thing I'm going to talk about is food. I've had a food budget now for all the time that I've had a budget, at least 5 years. And I have spent about $300 a month on food for all this time. Sometimes I go over if I ended up going to Sam's and getting a bulk item or something, but I have cut Sam's out because I buy way more shit there than I need. And then I end up eating it, and thus I'm overweight. And so, having said that, even with the prices going up, I've managed to keep it down to $300 a month or less. I don't eat out. If I do go out to eat, it's with someone else who's paying. And, or someone else is paying. That's it, period. I'll go to a restaurant, I'll look at their menu, and then I will turn around and walk out because I can't see me paying $20 for a sandwich. And half the time, it's not as good as what I could make at home. So anyway, with the food thing, I've found that there are numerous resources. So nobody should be going hungry, no matter where they live, no matter what budget they have. And housing is a little bit more tricky because I've checked into some senior housing situations. And they want your income to be between a certain level. They consider it lower to upper poverty level, which living on Social Security certainly puts me in that. Except the ones that go by your income have a couple of different qualifications. One of them that I checked into. You can't have any assets over $5,000. And that's not me because I have a house. And once I sell the house, I'm going to have a bunch of cash for me to live on for the rest of my life. And the other thing is the Social Security amount. The other place that I looked to was a little bit more upscale. The income requirement was to be able to afford the lowest level of apartment, which is a studio. They required that your income be at least 2 times the rent. And that was, I think the income requirements for that one was about $2,000, I believe. And maybe a tiny bit under $2,000. But I don't get it. I'm not going to be getting enough Social Security to qualify for that. So I'm kind of in a paradox here. I won't be getting enough monthly income to qualify for an affordable apartment. And then my cash is going to be way too high in assets to qualify for it. That just doesn't sound right. I just don't get it. Now, for me to just go out and get an apartment on my own that's comparable to what this place offered, instead of it being, I think, $950 a month rent for a studio at this place, a comparable studio at a non-subsidized, I guess you could call it, apartment is almost $2,000, $1,500 to $2,000. Ridiculous. Particularly ridiculous in the town that I was looking at because it's my hometown. I mean, it's middle of nowhere, and there's not a lot to offer there, so I don't know where they come up with these prices. Anyway, so that's a paradox I'm looking at. And so what I'm going to have to do once I sell my house is I will have to rent a place to live for regular market prices, which for me I'm going to have a private landlord, because most places require 2 to 3 times in monthly income to pay the rent, and I won't have that. So I will have to find a private landlord that is willing to rent to me, and then agree to rent to me even though all I'm getting is Social Security. So I don't know how that's going to work. Airbnbs are way too expensive, and I have friends and family that I can live with, but I really don't want to go that route. That isn't really, for the long term, that just really won't work for me. I really like living alone, and I really would rather have like a 1 or 2 bedroom place. So what I want and what I get may be 2 different things. Anyway, so there I am. Last thing I want to say, besides the last thing I said, was that I recently got back from Michigan. I spent 2 days there, and it was basically a nothing burger. Nothing happened. Didn't really do anything there. I went there for a job. There was nothing going on. They weren't ready. So I spent 2 days there doing nothing. But I am getting paid for it. Thank goodness. Because, I may as well get paid for it. It wasn't a vacation. I didn't really do anything fun. So, I went to Walmart and got food. Went to the Family Dollar store and got some things to, supplement my food and utensils and things. But other than that, I really didn't do much. I went to the park and ate my salad one day. Anyway, that's it for me. And circling back to what I said to start with, what do you think about these people getting on YouTube and putting up this clickbait about living on a modest income when they have at least 3 forms of income coming in? All right? Tell me what you think.